All right, Scorpio, I didn't forget you. We're coming back to the cell salts discussion, okay? The zodiac and the salts of salvation, remember? We talked about how you can use cell salts for whatever your sun sign is. And I didn't forget about Scorpio because Scorpio actually rules the reproductive system and magnetism in kind of the cell salt world. And so the salt is calcareous sulfate, so calc sulf. And what's interesting is that it says that this is a mineral stone and that it especially corresponds to the Scorpio nature. While in crude form, this lime is of little value, but if you add water and thus transmute it by changing its chemical formulation, you get the plaster of Paris that is formed, a substance both useful and ornamental. Scorpio people are natural magnetic healers, especially after having passed through the waters of adversity, since heat is caused by the union of water and lime. Scorpio is a water sign, but governed by Mars, and Mars is a doer of things, also fiery at times. Therefore, it is well that the Scorpio native take heed lest he sometimes boil over. Interesting is even relating it to fertility and like the procreative glands. When one realizes that calcium sulfate, or this plaster of Paris, forms eggshells without which the contents of eggs would not be preserved to fulfill their function, he understands the outstanding and curious relationship which this salt bears to the sign Scorpio. So basically, this salt is protective of germ cells. And germ cells are little eggs, right, that are going to form little humans, right? That is where this salt is working. And so Scorpio finds its seat in that reproduction. But also interesting is there is a relationship to anemia because this salt is deeply involved in basically preventing the starvation of blood, he says. And so there's a relationship between blood deficiency, though, in Chinese medicine and reproductive organs. If you find this interesting, I'm starting a cell salts deep dive on my school. So check that out. I'm going to be doing videos, deeper videos.